Right, Bards, well, we have Huey and Dewey tonight, but no Louie.
No Louie, mate. He might be out looking for Uncle Donald.
Naughty boys in nasty schools, headmasters breaking all the rules, having fun and playing fools, smashing up the woodwork tools. All the teachers in the pub, passing round a ready rub, trying not to think of when the lunchtime bell will ring again.
Oh, well, we are going to cut to Adam at some stage and put in a whack, but his internet's a bit out of whack. So we proceed with the show and we talk about another great win by the Hawks.
We do indeed, mate. And we did this show without him for almost 12 months. We can handle one more week until he gets things right. So Hawthorn took on Brisbane down in your home state, not hometown, of Tasmania. And it was Hawthorn 21-17, 143, defeating the Lions 12-13, 85.
Goal kickers?
Plenty of them. Roughhead 4, Franklin 4, Savage 3, Bruce 3, and singles to Smith, Gunstall, Simpkin, Lewis, Hill, Shields and Hale.
I still reckon we're going to have joint Brownlow medalists, but
Brownlow medalists or Coleman medalists?
Coleman medalists. I still reckon we're going to have joint Coleman medalists, but
You reckon the two of them will finish up top?
that might be a great faux pas. You never know. They could be joint Brownlow medalists as well.
The rough man would be an outside chance now, surely.
Don't put money on me, Bards, whatever you do.
Oh, and I'm not going to curse anyone else into an injury. Goal kickers, Grant. Good spread again.
Yep, well, we're planning for the future, aren't we? In many ways.
We are, mate. Look, to be honest, we're setting up that side nicely, and I'm very happy with Ruff being the main focus, and Buddy doing all that bullocking work that he's doing so well as well. So, obviously, we can't underestimate the big man, Buddy. Those 2 goals he kicked in that second quarter went a long way to setting up the wins.
Hey, it's one of those things that you would read in the paper for junior school football. All played well, great team effort, because that's clearly what it is.
It is. We're like that most weeks, and this week as well. Like doing votes, mate, every week it's like, nothing stands out. You've sort of got to look at some stats and look at some coaches' votes and just, see what other effect players had. So it's not an easy job because they're all contributing.
So let's talk votes.
All right. 5-2 Bradley Sewell. He loves it down there. I've been a few times when he's played really well down there. I think he likes the space. Did a lot of bullocking work and got plenty of the ball. 4 to Ruff, 3 to the Brownlow medalist Sam Mitchell, 2 to Luke Bruce, and 1 single one for Bud.
Excellent. Some interesting highlights from that game, weren't there? Rubberneck.
Gibson just taking it to a new level with the way he threw himself in at that one and landed. He might have been a bit lucky, got a little bit of shoulder down to stop the neck totally snapping, but it was a bit scary to see. Didn't like the way he was carrying his arm on the way off, but having seen him on Hawks TV today, he looked pretty happy and jovial and wasn't too stiff, so I think he'll be right.
And Liam Shields, he went down with a bit of ankle but came back.
Did indeed. It was an ankle roll, but the way he went down, there was a few people suggesting that he might have done an Achilles or something. It was like he was shot, but he did really well to fake the umpire into not paying a hole in the ball against him at the time as well due to the injury, so it's a good bit of play, but he got back out on the ground, and there was one more injury, mate, and it's the luckless Xavier Ellis again.
Yeah, now, he came under scrutiny because they invoked a special thing around the sub. Were you aware of that at the time?
Something to do with concussion?
Yep.
They would check for concussion first?
Yep, so apparently what you can do with the sub is if you're checking for someone with concussion, is that you can call 20 minutes out, the sub can go on,
yep,
and then you've got to call within 20 minutes whether you're going to sub the player out,
yep,
put the red vest on them.
Yep.
If you choose not to, Simpkin would have come off, put the green vest back on, and then come back at another stage.
Yep, that's the rule they brought in at the start of the year, and I've seen it used a couple of times. Was Xavier Ellis concussed? Is that why he didn't go back on, or did he hurt the calf again?
They didn't actually say at the end of the day, did they?
Yeah, I was under the impression it was his calf again, because he had some ice on it, but it may just be that he was subbed off for concussion, and while he was on the bench, they just threw some ice on the calf for old time's sake.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be there at the end of the year, Bud, and I actually think this might be his last season the way he's going. The body's just not handle the rigours of AFL football.
Well, Kaiko loves him, and he's best footy is well and truly in our best group, but can't get on the park, and he gets injured during games. That's disappointing as well, because it obviously leaves you one short. So when you look at the side we had on Saturday and you consider we've got to get back into that team, the likes of Birchall, Rioli, Piopolo, Wera, and that's just this year. Next year we can add Suckling and Shoemakers to the mix. It's not going to be an easy side to be in. So yeah, if you're not 100%, it's going to be hard to be carried, I think.
Some good debuts. Jonathan Segler, great game.
Yeah, he did what was required of him, I think. He had a few good hit outs, a couple of grabs around the ground, missed a shot at goal he probably would have liked to have kicked, but not a bad effort for him. I think he had about 9 touches, but yeah, he shows a little glimpse. I think that's probably the last we'll see of him for a while, just making sure there's able backups there for Max or Haley if one of them goes down.
And a 2013 debut for Brendan Whitecross.
Yeah, good to see him back. I don't know if it's just the way I was watching the game. I thought he must have gone off the ground as well, because I didn't see a lot of him late in the game. But apparently he played out most of the game. I had a fair chunk of the game on the ground, about 86%, so that's good. He was really happy with his game afterwards in terms of how he felt. So look, him definitely in our best 22. And hopefully he comes through that game well and he can have an effect on the Cats this week.
I suggest that Whitecross was going to be sub with Simpkin, and unfortunately that didn't go to plan.
Yeah, I think that they might have been even looking at him having 50% or maybe 60%, and then Simpkin coming on. It's sort of a good like-for-like. Simpkin probably be keen to get a full game sometime soon, because he's playing good footy, and I thought he was probably a bit stiff to be the sub, but that's the way that Clarko went, which is fair enough.
You'd play him for a full game this week, or you'd start him somewhere prominent against Geelong, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Geez, we want to get these injuries out of the way, though.
Yeah, mate, they just keep falling like 9 pins, but we just keep putting another one up. That's the way it goes.
Well, I think that's a sign of a good team when you can do that, and I see Spanger played well in the twos, effectively.
Yeah, and they had a loss, which is unusual, the way they've been going, and even the Box Hill twos lost as well, so that's, a couple of losses. Might have lost their top spots, I'm not sure, I haven't checked. Good, the boys seem to be going right back there, and there's always pressure for spots. It's the way we want it.
First to fourth, unfortunately, but it's a fairly tight competition.
It is very tight indeed, but that's alright. As long as we stay up top in the main one, that's what counts.
Exactly. Now, a blast.
Yeah, mate, I've got a blast here, and it was going to be a full blast, but I've sort of worked out why this is happening, so maybe it's not quite so bad. Gerard Healy, is there been a greater Hawthorn hater ever? Grant, you watched the game not long ago. This bloke's hopeless. He just cheers for everyone that plays Hawthorn. Everything negative about Hawthorn, positive about the other team. Oh, Hawthorn are kicking with the wind, they're not doing enough. Hawthorn kick goals into the wind, we don't hear about it. The wind doesn't matter anymore. It only matters when Brisbane are going against it. So I was wondering, why is Gerard Healy so bitter? So I had a quick look at his stats versus Hawthorn over his career. 18 times he played against the Brown and Gold, 15 losses, 3 wins. That's probably enough to get him started. But the magnitude of the losses is sensational. Now bear with me. Just listen to these numbers. 43, 22, 41, 53, 79, 62, 6 points. They're almost there, and then they got a win. We fix that up with 68, 16, 33, 98. Then they had a win. We thought, bugger that, we'll play them in a final, beat them by 99. 21, they won one more, 74 and 49 points. The man is entitled to be bitter. I'm not going to bag him anymore, because he's just been belted from pillar to post by Hawthorn his whole career. 3 wins, all useless. Gerard Healy, we understand your pain. There's lots like you, I'm sure, in your Sydney and Melbourne sides over the years against us, so stay away from Hawthorn games if you can, because you might end up held up, fetal position when you see that Brown and Gold coming at you again.
It could be only one worse, Bards, couldn't it? And that is if he teamed up with Jason Dunstall to give special comments, because Dunny just can't say anything positive about his own side for fear that might be compromising his position in the media.
Jason, I am not biased. Dunstall, yes. That's it. Yeah. If I bag Hawthorn, no one will bag me.
So, it's about now. We'll play some music, and then we'll come back with Adam's whack, and then the two of us will be back again.
Now, boys, I love Matty Richardson as much as the next bloke, and I like BT too, but their carry-on last week, every time Joe Watson was booed in the Eagles-Essendon game, was nothing short of disgraceful. Let's not forget, this is a guy that admitted on national television to taking a banned substance. It matters not whether he thought it was safe and okay at the time, and it matters not that his doctor told him that it was a substance that he can take legally. The fact of the matter is the onus is on the individual, and Joe Watson, by his own admission, is a drug cheat. And for Richo and BT to carry on as though he's done nothing wrong just is missing the point completely.
So does that mean I can whack him in round 18?
You can whack him in round 18, you can whack him in round 15, you can whack him in round 22, you can keep whacking him.
I don't think I'm going to Etihad Stadium, Adam, anyway, for that game, so who cares?
Fair enough.
Okay, so now we're back with Fair Suck of the Sav. But I wasn't going to have a Fair Suck of the Sav because I was pretty happy after that game. Didn't think there was much in it. And then you said something early on in the program, and I've gone, inconsistent umpires. 2 inconsistent rulings during the course of the game. Holding the ball and out of bounds deliberately. Fair Suck of the Sav. Can they get consistent?
That roughhead out of bounds deliberately. He's picked the ball up and kicked it between 2 blokes, 55 metres, has done a left-hand Shane Warne league break and gone out of bounds with a player almost grabbing it, deliberate.
All I can say is just Fair Suck of the Sav. Can we get a bit of consistency? All right, well, we introduced the great debate last week, and this was really Adam's section of the program. We thought, well, we had a good topic, and we'll proceed with it anyway, which was, is there such a thing as the Kennett's curse? But
A little from column A, a little from column B, or I'm not allowed to sit on the fence?
You can be the for, you can be the against, you can be the for and against. I'm just interested in your views.
Well,
is there such a thing?
Let's look at the raw figures. How many times have we played them since the grand final at Kennett mouthing off about how good we were?
10.
10 times. And how many of those have we won?
None.
It's like the curse of the Bambino. This thing exists, but we're going to smash it this week. Kennett just put something into their minds that said, even though we hurt them enough by beating them in the grand final, and every time they look at that trophy cabinet, there's a gap between 07 and 09, and they know that's because of us. He's just fired them up, and you get these blokes like Paul Chapman and Scarlett that say, well, we're never going to lose to Hawthorn again. Well, they haven't, which drives us nuts no end. But every game we've been up by 5 goals in about 4 of the games. We've been up in the last quarter in most of the games. It is mental. Maybe it's a curse. Maybe it's just our mentality, but I think we're ready to turn it around.
Is the curse broken by the fact that Jeff wants to be the Melbourne president?
Could be. Jeff's no longer in charge, but it carried on last year and early this year when he wasn't in charge. So maybe a bit of distraction. Jeff talking about Melbourne. He might get some karma coming at him some other way. I don't know. But I think it could be broken because, one, Paul Chapman's not playing this week, and our little mate Stevie Johnson's not playing this week, and they both have a knack of kicking goals out of their arse against us, let's be honest. We'll have to watch out for Jimmy Bartell taking a pack mark among 3 ruckmen, kicking a goal, because he's capable of that every time we play him. I think, mate, we should be right this time. Surely we're right this time.
Is it broken because Cats have 9 lives and I wasn't there for the 10th win? So as far as I'm concerned, their lives are over and I'll actually be there for this game.
Well, we could go with that theory if you want. I was happy with the 9 lives and thought we had them this year, but that didn't happen. I've missed probably most of them, probably lucky. I've been at a few. I've been at the Clinton Young having the shot for goal to win the game. I was there last year with Tom Hawkins and his bloody marker on the siren.
Yeah, have they fixed that seat in front of you from last year?
No, that seat is still broken. My Coke bottle is still launched somewhere among the MCG crowd. I was angry.
And rightly so.
I think I Facebooked that I was on the way to the Westgate after the game and people thought I was telling the truth.
So there is no Kennett's curse anymore. It is over. Jeff has moved on to the Melbourne Football Club and we're looking forward to a win. That's what we're saying?
That's the plan.
Well, if people have got a differing view or they agree with that view, let us know.
Please, please tell me now. Please, please tell me now. Please, please tell me now. Please, please tell me now.
All right, so Bards, it's time for From the Backline.
All right, Grant, Hawthorn versus Geelong, round 15, 7:40 Saturday night at the MCG. Expect a shower or two. And the team is, from the backline, Stratton, Lake, Whitecross. Halfbacks, the Brownlow medalist Sam Mitchell, Gibson and Burgoyne. The centre line is Smith, Hodge and Hill. The half-forward line is Gunston, Franklin and Bruce. The full-forward line, Savage, Roughhead and Rioli, making his return. And the ruck division is Bailey, Lewis and Brad Sewell. Interchange, Taylor Duray, Hale, Piopolo and Simpkin. Emergencies, Cole Cheney, Brent Guerra and Will Langford again. What do you make of that, Grant?
We'll make the ins of Bailey, Rioli and Piopolo and the outs of Shields, Segler and Ellis.
Or injured, but I would think that Segler's probably just had his go and he's going back.
Well, what do I make of that, Bards? Well, Guerra's not in. That's an interesting one. Langford's still thereabouts, so he might play very shortly. Rioli is going to probably wear the red vest either at the beginning or at the end.
Yeah, you think so. Rioli doesn't play at Box Hill. We know that, so that's why he's coming back in this way. Named on the ground, so I think that's probably an indication that he'll receive the vest later in the game rather than start with it. I think Simpkin will probably be the vest wearer. He seems to relish that role, so he'll probably get it again. Although Piopolo and Rioli sort of halving it might not be a bad mix either, because they can play a very similar role. So Guerra, as an emergency, interests me. Basically saying that he's fit and not in the best side anymore. With Birchall still to come back into that back line this year, he's going to struggle to get back in maybe, Brent. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I've said all year that he's struggling, haven't I? So I'm with you on that one.
And to be honest, I think maybe Taylor Giret's got his spot.
Yeah, he's hard at the ball.
Small, genuine defender, hard at the ball, and uses it fairly well. Probably doesn't use it quite as well as Gu does, but he uses it fairly well. So I think that's what's happened.
We didn't ask Adam when he did his whack what his result was going to be. He just came on, did a little whack, and off he went. So how are we going to win this one, Bards?
The key to us winning this game is a man that we went out and got at the start of the year, I think, or late last year, Brian Lake. We need to take care of these big blokes against us. They've hurt us in the past. We didn't have Lakey round one, probably hurt us a little bit. So that's number one. Lake, you've got to take care of Hawkins or Pozziali, whoever they put down in the goals, whether it be Vardy if he's back or whatever. The Lake's important. Obviously, Gibson goes hand in hand with that being important too. Midfield must get on top early. We've still got to fix up our centre clearances. We're still getting done there. We're all right around the ground at stoppages. Centre clearances are getting hurt, so that's important as well. The biggest one, mate, is the forward line. We've got talent that they can't match. Scarlett's gone, so I don't know who's going to pick up Luke Bruce now. So we've got to...
Cheeky,
yes. So we've got to be on top there, mate. So we need to keep using all the avenues we've got. You know, ideal situation, we walk away from the game. Roughhead's got 3, Franklin's got 3, Bruce has got 3, Gunson's got 3. They can't match all those if we can do that. So that's hugely important. And we've got to be tough. No mental barriers. We've got to come out fighting, and we've got to take them on every chance we get. No backing down. That's what they've had over us in the past. They're a younger side now. They're a very different side to what we've come up against, but there's still going to be some of those old stages there that know the drill. So that's hugely important as well. Toughness. We get on top of those things, I reckon we've got them covered.
I don't know how we're going to win this, but I'm going to make a couple of observations. One, we're going to get 13 in a row, and ironically, 13 will break the curse.
That's a great observation.
Now, the other thing is, do you remember the 2008 Grand Final and actually how you felt the week before? And you wake up and you walk down the street and go, I think we're going to win this final. Remember that feeling?
Yep.
Right? Well, I walked up the street tonight, and a couple of days ago, I got that feeling as well, that we're actually going to win. I got this feeling that it's going to be a really tight game, and it's going to come down to Buddy. And Buddy's going to have one of those kicks on the run from about 45 out in the pocket, and he's going to get in front, and they're not going to be able to come back from it.
Beautiful. And hopefully Paul Piopolo doesn't kick any out of midair.
Well, that'll ruin my story. So that means my margin is 1 goal.
Right, going to give us heart attacks with that sort of stuff. I think we've got these both covered. I'm going to go with 24 points.
All right. Well, let's see. I can just see it going down to the wire, but our way.
All right. Let's hope we're both right and we both win.
So on that note, it's a big go Hawks!
Down Hawks!